first off, this is the stuff I'm going to be taking with me on the plane and wearing. Cell phone, wallet. Going to be wearing my pit bulls that I'm taking along as well, to alternate if I do need to have my feet resting. Then a fleece liner, first Ascent fleece liner, thin, easy drying t-shirt, and then one of the long pants that can be turned into short pants as well, the baggies with the pockets and so on, the hiking pants, as well as my what do they call them, the puffy jacket, which folds up quite small. So that's going with me. Then moving on to the stuff that I'm going to be using, it's going into my backpack, my shoes, my Cascades, my Brook Cascadiers. They're a trail shoe. They're going to be the ones I'm going to be wearing most of the time. Then I've got little flip-flops for showers. I've got a few different types of socks. I've got the Falky Cool Hiker woolen socks. Then I've got the Falky merino wool. They're quite thick. And I've also got in Ninjas, those are toed socks. They're little socks. I find that I alternate with my socks. So one day I'd wear a thick woolen sock, the next day I'd wear a toed sock. Seems to just be easier on my feet. A few things that I might come across would be problems with my ITB, my knee strap. So I've taken that along, and an ankle strap as well as a knee guard. I know that these things could be problemsome to me. Then I've got a small microfiber towel. I've got copies of the paperwork that I need, for example, my passport and plane tickets and so on, as well as my original passports, which are going in this, we call it a moon bag, some people call it a fanny pack, and then also the money belt, which would go underneath my clothing, which would be on my body with cash. This is the gimbal cover that I'm using, this gimbal at the moment, so that's a heavy thing. The gimbal tripod as well, backup power pack because I'm wanting to take some videos. Then I've got the adapter, so that I can charge various items at the same time, because I assume that plugs will be in short supply in hostels and so on, in albergues. This little pack is quite useful. It's got all the little cables, charging cables, earphones, those little electronic gimmicks, so that they're not all knotted up and all over the show. Little tripod that can be folded onto trees and hooked onto things. Then I've got my day pack, which is going along. That's going to be on the plane with me, as well as as carry-on luggage. I'll put in my valuable items and use that on the Camino as well. A little cap, not for sun. This big cap is more for wearing underneath my poncho to keep the rain off my face. And I've got some energy, what do they call these, the hydration electrolytes and so on. This is I like to keep the stuff separate in these little see-through bags. This is, things like pain tablets for inflammation, some personal medications. Then I use prep for my feet. I've also got some good foot balm that I find useful. Earplugs, things like earplugs. I've got a nice S-hook that I can hang things up in the shower, for example. Medicated shampoo, some anti-chafe cream, those types of items. I think those are heavy and they're quite difficult to carry along, but I think without them I might come unstuck. Then just the normal personal toiletries, deodorant, toothpaste, some insect guard, some soap. Then this is my personal bidet. Not everybody uses them, but I think one can come unstuck a long route if one does in an emergency need a toilet and so on. This is basically a wash bottle bidet. Then I've got a small first aid kit. This contains all these little things like scissors, needles, threads, toe guards, plaster, surgical tape, a whole myriad of little things that I need. Sleeping bag, which is not really that light, unfortunately, but it's not too big. You can see compared to the size of my hand, it doesn't fall up too big. Cotton inner liner, and then a little blow up pillow, water bottle, and then reading glasses and sunglasses. These are just cheap reading glasses, sunglasses. I've got a small umbrella as well, more for sun than anything else. I'm not sure it'll help much for rain because apparently the winds are quite strong, but for sun. And then this is what I call my little emergency gimmick kit. A little piece of string, some duct tape, some tent pegs in case I need to peg my poncho down as a tent in an emergency. There's a combination lock cable as well. There's a wine opener, because apparently it's difficult to get wine openers in the albergues, and people try and open their wine with knives and a myriad of tools, because they apparently get lost. Things like a little headlamp as well in there. My headlamp is in there, and then also an emergency blanket, one of those foil survival blankets. So to move over to the other side, you can see this whole bed is quite fully packed with stuff. And now we get to, I'm not too sure yet if I'm taking this roll along. It's very light, but it's quite bulky. In case one needs to sleep on the ground somewhere, my trekking poles. Then this is a nice poncho which can also double up as an emergency tent. That's why I've got the string and the cable ties and that type of thing with me. Oh, and by the way, there's some of these nice, there's carbiner hooks which are quite useful. I can show you on the bag. I've got them all over the show. They've got little crocodile clips so you can hang stuff onto your bags. You can use it for washing. These clamps clamp the clothing and that type of thing. I've got a pair of shorts, normal lightweight jogger type shorts, and then I've also got a light t-shirt, and I've got another fleece warmer top. And in this little bag I've got I'll take it out I think, because it's quite small, holds up quite small, but this is a very cheap but useful, I found it very useful, windbreaker slash rain jacket. It's not waterproof or anything, but it does keep one insulated. So very often I found a t-shirt with my fleece liner, this little windbreaker thing, and the poncho are more than sufficient to keep me warm. Then I've got cheap underwear, these very thin Temu underwear, which is basically a seamless, non-chafing, very light, easy drying underwear. And I'm taking one or two of these Ziploc bags along to decrease the size of my clothing. And then of course my hat, which I'm taking along, a sun hat. I've chosen one that's got mesh because I tend to get quite hot when I wear a hat on top of my head. And then I've got my Midlifebackpackers logo sewn onto the front and my South African flag on the back, so for sun protection. Then of course the backpack, that's where all of this stuff is going to have to fit in, and then I'll give a tally as to exactly what it weighs. Of course, being carried with me, I know I'll get the obligatory shell in Spain, but I've bought a shell from Cape Town, which is a Palamun shell with a photograph and some little minor shells, tiny little shells that are embossed in the resin. This is what I'm carrying with me. That is my deceased wife, Janneke. And then I'm carrying half of her ash in a bamboo container. Also quite heavy, quite honestly, but this is going with me. It's going to be carried throughout Spain. Alright, let's see. I'm going to finish off with it. Just have a quick look at everything.